There's a moment that many men hit after 40 that nobody really talks about. On the outside, you look successful, but then on the inside, you're starting to question yourself. Is this it? Something starts really feeling off. And in this video, I want to talk about why so many men feel lost after 40, but also how and why it could be the turning point that you need for the second half of your life. After 25 years of a career in law enforcement and coaching and teaching and training many law enforcement officers, I've seen this moment happen to a lot of guys. I've also had this experience myself. The first thing is that many men build their complete identity around work. I was certainly guilty of this. When I was in my 20s and my 30s, you could not keep me away from the job. I was building friendships. I was establishing my identity. I was achieving everything that I had set out to, and I kept going for more. I was going after every special assignment, every promotion, and I was making the career 100% my identity. Now, the crazy thing is that after 18 years on the job, I was 42 years old. I literally walked away from the job for several months. I was so burned out. I made the job so much a part of who I was instead of what I did that I could no longer sustain it. Mentally and emotionally, I checked out. I was having relationship issues. I was sick and tired of the career, and I was completely guilty of making my job my entire identity. Another thing in our 40s that we start to think is that life just didn't turn out the way that I had planned. Now you've got some years behind you and you start thinking like I should have. I wanted to. I would have done this different. I should have done this different. And so you start spinning this cycle in your mind of you really thought things were going to turn out different. You know, at 42 years old, I never in my wildest imagination would have thought that I would have burned out and walked away from the career that I'd put 100% of my identity into. It was just like, I never thought I would burn out of this career. You know, again, 5 or 6 years into it, if somebody would have come and said to me, like, hey, you're going to burn out, you're going to leave this job, you're going to walk away with all of these issues, I would have laughed in your face. And it wasn't until that happened to me that I really looked back and thought, this isn't what I had planned. And this life, this career is not turning out what I had expected it to be by any stretch of the imagination. You know, sometimes we have success, but then that success does not feel like success. I see many in the first responder community, especially, they're doing really well in their careers. They're working a lot of overtime. They're building their financial, I don't want to say portfolio, but they're buying the stuff. You know, they're busy establishing their careers. They're buying the new houses. They're raising a family. Everything on the outside that looks extremely successful. But what's happening is that striving towards all those achievements is building up a backpack that they're not able to sustain. Another thing that happens is that success stops feeling successful. You might have the house, you might have the cars, you might have the money, you have all these things externally, but internally you're starting to say like, I don't even like this job anymore. I'm not really achieving the things that I wanted to achieve. A lot of my career now feels meaningless. You've reached that pinnacle and there's really nothing else to look forward to. So all of the success that you built up starts becoming really meaningless and will cause literally an identity crisis, which can in turn turn into some really bad habits. And we want to avoid that. We have to realize that achievement does not mean fulfilling your purpose. And in Mark chapter 8, verse 36, Jesus tells us, what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world yet loses his soul? And a lot of times we can start going down that path of emptiness and thinking to ourselves, I've achieved all of these things. That was certainly me. I have achieved all these things. I have done all of these awesome things, but yet feeling completely lost, completely empty, spiritually bankrupt, having trouble in the relationship with my marriage, constantly struggling and trying to raise boys at the same time. My success and my achievements at work were not fulfilling my purpose. So while I was really good at gaining everything externally, looking good on the outside, internally, I was dying. I was really trying to figure it out and not being able to figure that out, not understanding that welled up a lot of depression and anxiety and anger issues, to be quite honest with you, that I did not know how to get out and I didn't know how to work through. But the good thing about this is that sometimes feeling lost, feeling stuck, or having one of these crises can be the beginning of a turning point, can be beginning of building that second half and looking forward to, okay, cool, timeout, halftime. Let's make the adjustments. Let's get healed up. Let's really start thinking about what defines us. What's our purpose? You're in your 40s now. You have a wealth of knowledge. You have a wealth of life experiences. Let this be a turning point for you to start looking at the second half and saying, okay, what is my purpose? What is fulfilling? What achievements are important to me? And use that as a stepping stone to start building your life moving into the second half. This is where your faith can grow. This is where your purpose can become defined and become a lot clearer. And this is absolutely where the second half of your life can become a lot more meaningful. We just need to pause and rebuild from here, use these experiences as a turning point to make our lives fulfilled. So if you're a guy over 40 and this sounds like something that you can relate to and you're feeling this way, trust me, you're absolutely not alone. Don't feel isolated like this is happening to nobody else but me. What is going on? You're absolutely not alone. And sometimes that feeling of being lost, of being burnt out, of not knowing what you're going to do next is and can be that turning point for you to refocus and start turning everything around to live the way that you were meant to live, to find that true purpose, to find that true or new identity and move forward. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. What realization hit you the hardest? If you're a man over 40, let us know in the comments below. Again, if this is stuff that is really resonating with you, we'd appreciate if you hit that subscribe button, that like button, get this information out there to us old dudes over 40, and we'll keep pumping out the information to you. We really want to help and serve you and make the rest of your life the best of your life. Get ready for that second half. Let's go. Thank you for stopping by.